By the National 500, penultimate race on the NASCAR Grand National schedule, the stock car rules picture had cleared. The 1967 rules had been published, and the season shapes up a good one. The Ford drivers were back, ostensibly testing engines and chassis for the 1967 season. And Chrysler found that they had some competition from these particular Ford drivers.
Back in the fold were the familiar Ford faces of Gordon Johncock, along with Holman and Moody favorites Dick Hutchison, Cale Yarbrough, and of course, Fred Lorenzen.
What kind of equipment are you driving in the 500 today?
Well, I'll be driving a Fairlane equipped with a 427 wedge engine with dual quad carburetors.
You think that this will be the kind of a car we'll see you in 1967?
I'm quite sure it will. Aerodynamically wise, the car is much smaller width-wise and length-wise, and it works real well in a wind tunnel, so it's looking that way.
The battle for the championship between veteran David Pearson and James Hilton, who on the eve of the 500 was named Rookie of the Year, was a close one. What has been the high point of the season for you, Jim?
Winning Rookie of the Year, because at the first of the year, this is what we strive to do, and we accomplished it by the help of a lot of people involved in this thing. Drivers, mechanics, promoters, the people of the press, and everybody has helped me, so this has got to be it for me.
Leading for the championship in NASCAR is David Pearson of Spartanburg, South Carolina. David, what point this season did you decide to go for the title?
Well, Chris, it's getting so close to the end of the season now, and I'm still ahead in points, so I kind of have to run for it now.
What about the chances in the 500 today? What will you have to do to clinch the title?
Well, I think it's about 8 places. If I finish 8 places ahead of James Hilton in this race, I got it all sold up. I wouldn't even have to go to Rockingham to win it.
In other words, it could theoretically go down to the last race.
That's right, it sure could.
All in all, the NASCAR circuit is winding up in a glorious form for the 1966 season.
Ending the first lap, Curtis Turner shot past Fred Lorenzen to lead. Cale Yarbrough on Ford number 21 soon took second, and then first, and everyone looked for the Chryslers. LeeRoy Yarbrough overcame pre-race problems and moved from 17th to 1st in 19 laps. His Dodge Charger proved to be the fastest Chrysler product, even faster than Cale's Ford. Fred Lorenzen, trouble-plagued with his new setup, spun out early and had to battle back into contention. This started a raft of Ford dropouts. Ned Jarrett had valve trouble and lasted only 73 laps. Before the race, Jarrett announced it would be his last season.
What made you take this decision, Ned?
Well, I feel like that I've accomplished everything that I could reasonably expect to accomplish in the sport. The sport has been very good to me, and I guess sometimes I'll let my pride override my pocketbook, but I've always vowed to myself that I'd never go down the other side. Regardless, however far up the ladder I got, that's when I would quit.
Gordon Johncock, second in a Junior Johnson Ford, lost 3 laps when pitting for fuel. A bulky engine required more manpower than horsepower to help get him a 4th place finish. The Grand National Championship was still up for grabs. Dave Pearson would have to finish well ahead of James Hilton if he were to sew it up here. But Hilton finished 8th and Pearson 10th, so the crown was not decided until the season's final race, 2 weeks later at Rockingham, North Carolina, where Pearson gained enough points to win his first championship. Lorenzen was the last of the big-name Ford drivers to call it quits, but went on to victory at Rockingham and prepare for next year. Top NASCAR money man Richard Petty, sidelined early in the race, subbed for teammate Marvin Panch. The former Ford driver was also to announce his retirement from racing. LeeRoy Yarbrough had no trouble finding his way to the checkered flag. He led all but 33 of the 334 laps. His victory was the last of the season for Chrysler. Of the 49 races on the Grand National calendar, Chrysler won 35. Next year, the tables may be turned. Chrysler, unhappy with the factory team concept, was looking for a new way to participate.